organisations might work together. And really what we're looking at is developing a project, and we're in the really early stages of thinking about this, but I think is incredibly exciting. It's to find professionals like yourselves who can actually come along and work with some of the most impactful and I think amazing organisations in the country. There are fantastic things happening up here in the north with organisations called social enterprises and charities and so on. A number just near here. I was driving up and I was just thinking about some of the amazing things that I've seen happen very close to here. So there's an organisation called Paperwork that some people may know in the city that provide employment opportunities for disabled people who ordinarily would have been left at home or in isolation, who actually come in and work, and they do fulfilment. They've expanded, we've invested in them, they've now got a place in Leeds that they're developing. One example of an organisation that's really making a difference. There's another similar organisation which is just amazing when you think about it, based over in Bolton. It's a business that was originally, you may have heard of a chain of companies called Remploy. These were employment organisations that were set up by the government to provide training and employment opportunities to disabled people. Unfortunately, a number went around 2008 and what happened around that time. One was saved. It was saved by a disabled gentleman, but who is a very, very skilled entrepreneur, lectures at the Manchester Business School. But he saw a real opportunity to say, if this closes, this will make a huge negative impact on these people's lives. So he brought a team around him, other experienced professionals, legal expertise, financial expertise, and they took it over. And they took it over with absolutely nothing, just a few orders. What they did was they did really low-level electronic assembly, so chipboards, etc. It was pretty monotonous stuff, but it was fantastic for their client group. A lot of those people on the autistic spectrum love detailed work, repetitive detailed work, so it was fantastic. What they've done is branched out into whole new areas, so they now make motherboards for a number of major electronics computer manufacturers. They make alarms. Yorkshire itself is obviously shiny every day, and it was just amazing to speak to some of those people that are actually benefiting who are working in those businesses. And I think we can do something similar and inject that expertise and that knowledge into those organisations. What they don't lack, what the majority of our clients don't lack, is passion and is knowledge about the thing that they want to address. What they really need is a help and support to build alongside that. And we, of course, as an investment fund, have the money to put alongside that. And I think all those things coming together can be really powerful in making some amazing things happen. So thank you. I'd love to speak to you all about our work and the work we'd like to do together. If you can get involved, if you have an interest in an organisation, I'm sure we can hopefully find something that might appeal. So look forward to speaking to you all. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Adam Ogilvie. Firstly, thank you, Victoria, very much for hosting us this evening. I'm CEO of Meanwood Valley Urban Farm in Leeds, a charity that was established in 1980. I took up the role 8 weeks ago, so very new in the role. Some of you may have visited the farm over that time. It's a little oasis right in the centre of Leeds, literally 1 mile from the city centre of Leeds. The charity over the years has done a lot of work with young people in particular, over 10,000 young people in schools every year, but also working with young people who are at risk of exclusion from school. And we have a range of programmes around horticulture and agriculture to reconnect those young people into education. The other area of work that the charity has worked on is working with people, particularly adults with learning disabilities, again using horticulture and agriculture as a way of providing opportunities for those people. We have a group of people with learning disabilities who've been attending the farm for over 20 years, and they really see it as their home. Going forward, we'd like to do a lot more work helping people with learning disabilities to move into employment. and also looking at working with people with mental health challenges and potentially older people with dementia. And then the other big area of work is, of course, around climate change and the environment, and we think the urban farm has a real opportunity to help the City of Leeds with that agenda. So I'm here because I'm seeking some new trustees for our board. We currently have 7. It's going down to 5 shortly at the next AGM. So we're looking for quite a few new trustees and potentially a new chair of the board. And also some specific work helping me as the CEO in areas such as a bit of a governance review, work with around risk and health and safety, also around communications, and around developing a new strategy for the board and for the organisation for the next 40 years, hopefully. So we'd be very happy to talk to any of you about the farm, give you some more information, and if you're potentially interested, that would be amazing. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Adam. One of the things that we're trying to encourage people to think about charities like Meanwood Valley Urban Farm is to think not just about becoming a trustee, because not everybody wants to take on that sort of role or the non-exec, but you've got amazing skills. And what Meanwood Valley Urban Farm has, they've been through a period, Adam hasn't said, but he's only 8 weeks into his new role, and he's got a lot of work to do. It's had changing people recently, so he needs to rebuild Meanwood Valley Urban Farm. And it seems to me that for a lot of us, we'd rather go and get involved in a project where you've got a kind of beginning, middle and an end. You haven't got the same kind of liabilities and risks. And so Adam has put onto our job board on our website a whole list of projects that he would love help with. So this, you might be interested in trustee roles, but you actually might be interested in more than that. I'm giving Adam a help. And I think that would be a fantastic thing to have on your CV. If you're looking for bigger roles still, then this actually is something that sort of makes you look current. You've got lots of networking, it's a good chat to have about some of the issues in the sector. So I think there's lots of things to be had there. Now, Richelle, well done. Thank you so much for arriving in the nick of time. Well done. So Richelle Shuster from Thornton, can I introduce you? Thank you. And just talk about the sort of help that you're looking for. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria. So I'm tempted to do this in song. I hope you don't mind. So lovely to see you all here today. I'm here to talk to you about my role in Growth 365, which is a service from Thornton. I'd like to say it's the most interesting part, if ever you know anybody else there. And it is a bit different. I think when we first sort of started thinking about this a couple of years, we knew the mid-market, we know our market well, we knew what they needed, but actually we needed to think long and hard about how we actually served them. And really how we sort of became a sort of trusted partner in their growth trajectory. So it really was sort of rewriting, how we want to provide support for them. And it's been an incredible couple of years sort of thinking through and working through exactly who we need around us to be able to achieve this. A key role in this team is a growth advisor, and that's somebody who is very experienced, has an incredible sort of breadth in terms of what they've done, is usually an ex-CEO or business leader of an organisation of a similar size. And I suppose has a combination of that repertoire, that kind of toolkit of stuff that you know what to do when, and also that sort of empathy and that sort of personality and sort of barometer of culture to know how they actually need it delivered. So it really is an interesting role. We work with, as I said, sort of mid-sized companies, anything from, I suppose the smallest would be sort of 10 million up to the largest around 200 million. All these companies have one thing in common: they are ambitious, they want to grow. But it's not that easy. When we first began this, it seemed a bit of to be quite honest, a bit of a boys' club to kind of get together. We'll have a few, wines, and we'll go for dinner. And we'll talk about all the things that are bothering us. But actually, we found that our companies and our clients needed more. So we really do spend a lot of time understanding the mechanics of the business and how and what those growth opportunities are, whatever it might be. And we bring together the right team, the right growth advisor. My role in terms of being a client director, understanding those needs. And then also leveraging sort of the talents and capabilities and knowledge of the wider firm of Thornton. I'd say love to talk to any of you about how it works and what we're looking for. We're looking for essentially a role, probably in autumn, and then probably one sort of later in the spring as we sort of grow the business up in the Yorkshire region. It's a national service, so we are sort of dotted about all the different offices. It's immense fun in terms of the variety. You get to work in a team, which I think is different from some of the other roles that you might be looking at, which is interesting. And I think it would really sort of suit someone looking for, I suppose, about 7, 8, 9 days a month. So just to be very sort of clear about, we need enough sort of commitment to kind of make it work with our business and have some continuity in a portfolio of clients, rather than just sort of dipping in, dipping out. Our clients stay with us sort of a couple of years at least. It is a long-term relationship, so although you might sort of dip in and dip out of different businesses, you are sort of, their sort of core contact throughout their journey. So something to think about, something different, and I'm sure there's excellent opportunities that have already been discussed already. Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Richelle. Thank you. So there are 3 opportunities. Other people here tonight have got other things they would love help with, and they can talk to you individually. I thought that was probably enough to be going on with for the time being. We have got our job board, and you can post things for free up there still. And we do put some things up. I've just had something came through from Judith Donovan this evening that somebody's looking to sell a magazine in North Leeds. So, that might interest somebody, who knows. So lots of things going on. Please talk to people. If you're interested and want to register that specifically, Sandy's got some forms that you can put your name down, and we'll pass those on to Richelle, Matt and Adam. Thank you all very much. Food's going to be about another, just under 10 minutes.